This is CW Iowa Live.
Good morning, everybody. It's 10 minutes past 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the program. Lou and Jackie here, along with one of our favorite people, Sheree Clark, in the studio with us. And, of course, with the many visits of Sheree on this program, you know there's no shortage of products out there that say that they're good for you. But you know, there are some products, a handful of products that not only are good for you, they taste good and can do some amazing things. And Sheree, that's what we're here to talk about today, because to be honest with you, the word amazing is what it smells like around here. It smells amazing right here.
Well, especially to you, because I know I picked your favorite flavor today.
Yes,
so
you did.
You're grinning ear to ear, and
yes,
I'm loving
I am.
that.
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about ginger, and I love ginger. And here's the thing, we're going to talk about it in two ways. One is from a health producing standpoint, and two is from a culinary. So when we can combine that in one ingredient, we're all in hog heaven.
Now, many people have probably heard of ginger, don't realize maybe they're eating ginger in something they're devouring, but what exactly is ginger and why is it so important for us to talk about this morning?
It's a root item, as you can see here, and it is, it's often used in Asian cuisine. That would be the thing that most people think of it or equate it with. It's related to other root type vegetables that might look very similar, like turmeric, for example. Which has, and one of the ways that you can tell, because they look so similar in the store, if you take ginger and break it open, on the inside it's kind of a pale yellow. Turmeric would be bright orange, like a carrot.
All right.
Okay.
So you know if you have the right thing or not.
Right. And so now that I have this, actually this little knob open and off of it, I'm going to tell you two things. One is when you're buying it in the store, you can do just what I did and break it off, and you don't have to buy this one big piece. It's weighed, it's sold by weight. So break off exactly how much you need and whatnot. The second thing is another secret to saving this so you don't spend too much money. Many times people will take this and they'll try to cut it with a knife to get the skin off. I'm going to show you a secret. If we can get in here and see close up where my hands are, what we're going to do is simply take the spoon and just rub against it.
You're just scraping it off.
We're scraping the skin off. It comes off very easily. You can see that.
Now, I usually use a potato peeler. Is that too harsh?
Your potato peeler, there's two reasons why I don't do that, Jackie.
Okay.
One of them is that you're going to end up with a little bit of waste.
Okay.
Because you're going to take off some of the ginger.
The thickness of the potato peeler. Yeah.
Correct. And the second reason is you're getting really close in there. You see that little piece to your fingers, and a potato peeler is very sharp. So at some point or another, you're going to peel your thumb, and that's not.
Just
a simple spoon is all it takes.
Simple spoon is all it takes.
Okay.
Yep. And when you're buying ginger at the store, too, the other thing that I want you to do is to make sure that it doesn't have any wrinkles. This is a beautiful piece of ginger. It's wrinkle-free, it's smooth, and it's fresh.
If you do buy it like that and bring it home, about how long would it last in that form before you do something with it?
Well, I refrigerate mine.
You do?
And so we were talking a little bit before we came on, and you were mentioning that you leave it on the counter, and I didn't get a chance to say to you, don't do that. Put it in the refrigerator.
Do you bag it before you put it in there, or just leave it alone?
I have actually, in my refrigerator, I have a little thing that says RX. It's made for prescription drugs, and since I don't take any prescription drugs, I just stick it in there. Then I know right where it is, and that will keep the air off of it.
Would that be like the crisper drawer?
It's like the equivalent of a crisper. For mine, it's in the door. But you could put it in one of those air bags and whatever.
But that'll help it last a little bit longer.
Help it last a little longer.
Okay,
and then the other secret is just buy as much as you need. Don't buy a big old hand of it. If
so
you
you're not a fan of the jarred chopped ginger already? Would you rather go the fresh route?
Yes. Always, but the jarred ginger is fine if that's the only thing that's going to make you cook in the kitchen, but it's really kind of unnecessary. I just showed you how easy it is.
That is pretty simple.
Now, if people are like, well, I eat ginger all the time because I go out and have sushi and things like that, is that the same thing, or is that
that's
a
pickled
byproduct?
ginger, and it typically has preservatives and so forth in it, but it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. Just realize that the healthiest is always the least adulterated. The freshest and the things that we do ourselves. So speaking of things we do ourselves, I made you some carrot, ginger, cantaloupe, lime juice.
Oh my goodness.
What?
That's this bad boy, right?
4 ingredients. Yep, that's that bad boy. And remember that one of the reasons why we drink our juice is to stay hydrated. And that's a great way to get some of that fresh ginger into your system. So it's juiced, and I remember the other thing to keep in mind, you only need a little tiny bit of fresh ginger, particularly when you're putting it in juice.
Now, if you're juicing your hunk of ginger, you don't need to peel it, right?
Correct.
You just
just
dump it
throw
in
that
there.
thing right in there. Yep.
Now, when you say a little bit, that means to different things to different people. Are you talking about that little knob you just broke off, or
Yes.
how much would you say?
That would be a good example. In as much juice as I made you, plus I had myself a glass before we came on,
Right.
about the same size, I used a little bit less than that.
Okay,
Piece.
just to give you perspective of what we're talking
And
about.
how many carrots did you throw in here for something like this?
Oh, I'm going to say there's probably 15 carrots in there,
right.
and then a third of a cantaloupe or muskmelon.
Besides being refreshing and a wonderful thing to drink for your day, what is this doing for you?
Okay, two things that are really, really wonderful attributes of ginger. One is digestion. That's the one that it's most known for. In fact, when I was preparing for this segment, my assistant said to me, "What are we talking about tomorrow?" And I said, "Ginger." And she's got a 2-year-old, and she said to me, "It got me through my pregnancy." And I said, "What are you
Really?
talking about?" She said, "Oh my gosh, when I had morning sickness, and every day I had ginger, and it got me through."
It just calms your stomach.
It totally does. Other thing is, I've gone on cruises before, and on a cruise you get that kind of nausea feeling. And the ginger chews that, Jackie, I've got a box of them on your tray over there.
Okay.
You've got the extra strength. No, you've got the regular ones, and Lou has the extra strength ones. Gin-gins. Those are great. That's a nice portable. They say they're good for travelers. It's a portable way to get that to travel along with you. It's wonderful.
I was actually just watching a show not too long ago, and everything we're learning is stemming from our gut, which makes sense. But they're saying, because I've always been a person that gets motion sickness pretty easy, and they're saying if you have issues with your gut, that's reason why sometimes you get motion sickness. And I was just like, what? So yeah, so maybe by doing stuff like that, you're able to prevent, like you said, on cruises or other things that might cause a little bit of nausea.
Yep. The other thing it does, it's anti-inflammatory. So on your tray also, Jackie, that round item in front of your juice is Badger cream, and that is ginger and cayenne. If you rub that on sore muscles after the yoga segment.
You use the capsaicin from the pepper?
That's exactly right, yep. And so it makes the blood flow toward the muscles, and it will give you some relief. So that's always a good thing.
A nice natural alternative. Wonderful.
That works.
Yes.
All right, what else do we have?
While we're drinking, on your far right, we've got some ginger kombucha. So remember, kombucha is a brewed tea that's been allowed to ferment. That one has got a nice ginger flavor to it. It's a little bit like ginger ale, not as sweet, but it's really nice also, like we were saying, for digestion and that type of thing. So I like that. It also has a way of looking like champagne. So when you're trying to avoid an alcoholic beverage and you want something sparkling and really kind of celebratory, that's a nice alternative.
Kind of see the bubbles even still going on in there.
Yep, it's delicious.
And not super sweet, which we like.
Exactly, yep. So speaking of delicious, I have in front of you, I wanted you to taste something as well as drink something. So in the little footed dish, I've made you a little dessert.
Okay.
And what I did was I wanted it to be simple, so I sliced some bananas. I put the cherry in there as a garnish so that it would have a little pop of color, and then some nuts. And then what I did was I put ginger syrup.
Never even heard of ginger syrup.
Ginger syrup. It's 2 ingredients. It's ginger and sugar. And what they do is they boil it down.
I was thinking maybe honey or something like that.
Nope, it's a sugar product. So for vegans, it's perfectly acceptable. This is what you're having now. You can put it on pancakes. It's really good on a non-dairy ice cream. I really just like it. It's really delicious. It's not to be confused with the medicinal ginger syrup.
Uh-oh.
All right, we better clarify here now.
Right, and so now it wouldn't be it wouldn't hurt you to put it on there. It just wouldn't taste as good because this one has vinegar in it. So
Be a little different taste experience.
It's a little bit of a surprise.
Read your ingredients. There
yes,
you go.
exactly. So if you want to give that a taste, you might really enjoy that. It really is a way to have a great dessert without a heck of a lot of work. Another thing that you can do with the ginger syrup is mix it up with nuts and put it in the oven. You'd put it in a low temperature, and it will make like a coated nut mix.
Oh, really?
Very, very good. All kinds of
like those special pecans that you get at the fair.
Exactly.
Yes,
Well, yes, but a little healthier. There's no cane sugar. Well, there is a little bit of cane sugar in the syrup.
I'm trying to get down to the actual just syrup itself, and that is.
I know I overstuffed.
That is really good.
No, you're good, but I just want to kind of see what the syrup tastes by itself, but it's very good.
It's really tasty. Yep.
Never even heard of it, but I'm so glad I did now.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy syrup but don't want to be overpowered by it,
right,
it's a nice way to add it into something that you're enjoying.
Nice alternative to maple. Like I said, it would be good on pancakes.
That is very, very true. Yeah. That is really good too.
Wow.
Yep.
That is perfect.
So a couple other things we could do. There's ginger certainly available over the counter in a carrot ginger soup. When you're making up your own recipes or you're thinking, what am I going to do with my fresh ginger? Because we were talking about that also. you know, you buy the ginger and you're like, well, what am I going to do with it? I used it once and now what?
Are you saying root vegetables work well together? Because this is the second thing that you've mentioned, carrot and ginger.
Root vegetables are great with ginger. When I do my own recipe development, one of the things that I do is I think about what I've been served ginger in before. And so since it goes with Asian cooking, it's really good with sesame, for example. So that would be a good dressing. Like we've said, it goes with carrots. Here's some fermented, some vegetables and so forth. It goes also really good with mango. So a mango ginger tea is also delicious.
Nice combinations.
So these are the kinds of things that you can do with it. And then the final thing I want to share with you is that you can also take it internally. These are capsules that you can make yourself by buying some powdered ginger and some capsules and put them in the caps yourself. It'll save you quite a bit of money. And then you can also diffuse it as an essential oil. Also is really good if you're feeling a little bit nauseous, or if you have a child and you really want to have them have a soothed stomach, that's always beneficial. So,
that is wonderful.
If you do have a stomach ache, you can really use that, and that will be really helpful.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the powdered ginger. We have a big container of that, and that in either simple water, plain water, like filtered water, or even plain sparkling water gives you a really great beverage as well.
It does.
Yeah.
And as someone who uses their voice a lot, not only for speaking and singing, ginger tea is about one of the best things you can have to soothe your throat as well.
It does. It cuts through any kind of a mucus feeling, and it helps soothe the soreness.
All right, so go out and get some ginger. If you had more great ideas with Sheree Clark, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, why don't you send me an email at info@fork-road.com, or visit my website, www.fork-road.com. And I love to hear from you. What do you do with your ginger?
Enjoy your ginger. Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you, Sheree.